students, welcome back to online classes. Today's class will discuss a new chapter, that is the chapter 6, object oriented concepts. Last class we have discussed about chapter 5, that is your problem solving methodology. Your next chapter in your syllabus is object oriented concepts, and this is a very important, it's a basic your syllabus programming come under the object oriented programming, that is nothing but your C++. So we are going to, in this chapter we are going to study what are the characteristics of the object oriented concepts and how the object oriented concept came into an existence. So first we will see the introduction part of this object oriented concept. So as the computer technology developing day to day life, even a software industries runs at the same rate of professionally. See, as the technology improves, today's technology, what we have developed yesterday technology, today's technology will be, the features will be changed. Similarly, not only computer technology, even a software industry, the technology is going to support the software, even the softwares keep on upgrading, that is in an equal proportion, that is same rate of professionally. So the program becomes more and more complex. The problem becomes more and more complex, but it is user friendly. So the developer thought, as the technology increases, the developer thought the traditional programming methods or traditional programming language. What are the traditional programming languages? Nothing but your procedural programming, your traditional programming methods, your traditional programming methods. What are the traditional programming methods means, or programming language means? One it is procedural programming, second one it is structured programming. So these both, so the developer thought, the software developers thought, as the program or complex, the program become longer and longer or complex, but it is user friendly. But the traditional programming language what they have used, this procedural programming and structured programming are not enough to program the up to day-to-day life. That is, using this procedure and structure, there will not be lack of reusability is there, lengthier, very expensive, and it is prone to many errors, and sometimes if program get disaster, that is, it can be destroyed, it will not run properly. So these are all the drawbacks came in your traditional programming concepts. This procedural and structure mainly deals with these two important aspects, mainly deals with your data and algorithm. So the data is nothing but your actual code which you are going to run, and this algorithm is nothing, the method is used in order to function the method, the data you are using in order to function this particular algorithm. See, these two procedural or structure programming mainly work on two concepts, important aspects. What are this means? Data and algorithm. Data in which is the actual data you are going to make use of this particular programming, and algorithm, with the help of algorithm you are going to make some methods or function to run this particular algorithm. So the drawback in this I have already told, it is very expensive and it is complex, lengthier, and prone to many errors, and even you cannot reusable the concept, as well as it is very provide some concept will make the programming disaster or destroy. So to overcome this, you go for a next generation of programming language. This came in the third generation. Next generation you go for fourth generation, and then till now we are going to then it is evolved to fifth generation. Till now we are using a concept called object oriented programming concept. Programming system, that is nothing but we call it as the OOPS. See, once again I will tell what is the what is the introduction how object oriented programming concepts came into existence means. See, as these computer technologies move in a very faster, even a software industry go in the same rate. So as these two run proportionally equally, then the developer thought the programming becomes more complex and complex, and as though it is more complex and complex, the program should be user friendly. Then the programmer thought this traditional programming language like structured and procedural programming programming language does not make use of this real world problems. It does not support the real world problems. Why means what all drawbacks exist means it is not reusable, it becomes complex when the program is lengthier, and what is that lack of reusability, and it is very expensive, and many times it is prone to errors. Many errors have been occurred, and it also sometimes it destroy the program. It not trying to support the programming language to be up to mark. Disaster, provide some disaster. To overcome this, they went to a new revival of generation from a third generation to fourth generation till fifth generation. We make use of the concepts that is nothing but object-oriented system concepts. So this object-oriented system concepts, we call it as the OOPS. So next we are going to see what is procedural programming concepts, structured programming. So next we'll see what is this I told two traditional programming language, that is a procedural programming and structured programming. In object-oriented, that is your program solving or problem solving methodology, we have seen the programming techniques, that is a structured, what's that modularity and procedural programming methodology. And even today's class will discuss what is this procedural programming techniques. I have already told that procedural call is invoked in your procedure. What is this procedure means? It is nothing but a coded instruction that going to tell the computer what operation or what instruction should be performed. Or in other words, I can tell this is mainly focused on, it mainly focuses on processing of the system. Processing of the program. See, it mainly focus on the processing of the program, that is nothing but your procedural programming techniques. What it tells is a code, the procedure call will be there that going to invoke your procedure programming by telling what operation, what the instruction should be invoked by the computer system. That is nothing but procedural programming. It focuses only on your processing, the operation of the system, operation of an algorithm or operation of the program. When the program goes in a lengthy or it goes in a complex way, this procedural programming techniques does not support, it does not work. If a program consists of branching, I have already studied what is this branching, is nothing but in your, what's that statement, control statement, your selection statement, iteration statement, sequence statement. When a program comes under a branching statement like that, in that cases this procedural programming does not support. Based on the condition, the loop has to be transferred. So in this, by developing with help of procedural programming, it does not support such kind of branching statement. So this was the drawback in your procedural programming technique. To overcome this procedural programming technique, you go for structured programming technique. You go for structured programming technique. What is the structured programming? The flaws or the drawback encountered in a procedural programming concept or programming language, you go for structured programming technique. Here in structured programming technique, the language we have used is your C language. Approach or language we are used in a structured programming technique is nothing but your C language. In this C language, the language used to support this structured programming is nothing but, that is nothing but your C language. What you are going to do in a C language means, you are going to follow the approach of your top to down design. I have already explained what is top to down design. So top to down approach. So here you are going to focus, that is nothing but you are going to solve the problem from the top. The problem is there. The problem is being divided into sub problem. Again this sub problem is again divided into till more another sub program, until this sub program can be implemented as a solution to a program. Until then again, if you want the sub problem is again divided, again you are going to divide this sub problem. Suppose the sub problem you cannot be divided, you can find the solution itself in a sub program. Till then you are going to dividing the partitioning the problem, that is nothing but top down design. So a problem is there, a program is there, you are going to divide it into sub program, another sub program, you have 3 sub program thing. So if you have this sub program, till more you want to find, divide into further sub program you are going to divide. If the subprogram is not needed, till here you can implement a solution to a program. You are not dividing the problem. So finding each subprogram or module is being divided. So that approach is done in your C language. That is nothing but top to down design. So here what are all drawbacks followed in your procedural programming language? It is being overcome by a structured programming language with help of C language. Here it also supports like what's the branching statement, like if statement, or what's the do while statement, while statement, for loop. Everything is supported in your structured programming, but to a limited extent. It not supports a very wide extent, to a limited extent. And what all flaws again the structured programming encounters the same functionality of your procedural programming concepts. When the program becomes lengthier, it does not support easily. It needs some features to be added. It does not support it, and it is expensive. Again, reusability does not support it in your structured programming language. Similarly, the functionality in your procedure reflects in your structured programming language. So, the structured programming language does not support the function, that is requirement of your what are like reusability, what's that expensive, inexpensive, should be limited, expensive, lengthier, easier. This does not support it even in your structured programming language. Then it came to an existence called what is nothing but your object-oriented concepts. Then it came into an existence called object-oriented concepts. I have already explained what is all traditional language is nothing but programming language. Traditional means your C, Pascal, COBOL, etc. These are the language that is being supported. That is nothing but your procedure as structure. In a procedural language, I told it focuses only on processing. What instruction should be performed. Apart from that, nothing else is being focuses only what the computer has to, what instruction the computer has to done. That is nothing but your procedure. How you are going to work is based on your procedural call or coded instruction in order to tell the computer what to do. That is nothing but procedural programming. The flaws in your procedural programming means it does not, as the program becomes lengthier or complex, the programming does not support up to mark. So, for example, if a branching statement is there in your program, this branching statement is not supported in your procedural programming. To overcome the flaws in your procedural programming, you go on to your structured programming language. In structured programming, in order to structure this program, you use a C language, that is nothing but a C programming language. So, your C programming language go in the form of top to down design. What is this top to down design or top to bottom design approach means? Your problem is that you are dividing the problem into sub-problems. A program is divided into sub-program. Again, each sub-program is divided into another sub-program until it can be implemented as a solution to a problem. Until then, you keep on dividing the problem. So, after that, you are going to take the solution. Each sub-program can be individually linked with another sub-program and give the solution to a main program. So, the top-down design approach, again, it reflects the same features or functionality of your procedural-oriented program. That is a procedural-oriented programming language. What it tells is, it does not support reusability, complex, that is expensive, lengthier, and lack of prone to errors, and even does not support the maintenance of the program. These are all flaws that are again encountered in your structured programming language. To overcome the flaws encountered in your both traditional languaging, then you are bound to a concept called object-oriented programming concepts. Next, we will see what is this object-oriented programming concepts. So, next concept term, that is nothing but the flaws encountered in a structured and procedure. We go on to a programming technique, that is nothing but object-oriented programming. What is this object-oriented programming? Before going to object-oriented programming, in a C programming, in a structured programming, there is no security for the data. The data, whatever the data is there, suppose the data is there, this data can be used by any of the function F1, F2, F3, F4. So, before going to object-oriented programming, what are the flaws encountered in your procedural or structured programming? There is no security. There is no security for your data. So, any function can access this data. Globally, a data will be available. any function can go and access this data, natives of data, and you can change the, after using the data can be overwritten or it can be reused. That is nothing but not reused, it is can be overwritten. The original value of this data is not maintained properly. Again, F2 can make use of this data. He can make any changes to data. And similarly, the data which is present in your procedural structure, it is not secure. It is not secure. So that is globally data can be changed. That is any of the function can make use of the data. The originality of the data can be maintained or not maintained. That is the it can be overwritten. Again, another function make use of the data and make use of that particular data. And if any changes to a data can be maintained. So the data security is not maintained in your what is in your structured programming or in your procedural programming. So in your procedure, here the originality of your data is not secure. And here these two follow the approach of top to bottom approach. Okay, the structured and procedural and structure follows your mainly your structure follows your top to bottom approach, and it is mainly focuses on procedure. It focuses on procedure. So all these and it is also when it is lengthier, the program is lengthy, it is not reusable, expensive, and it is prone to errors. That is errors, many errors are there. Maintenance is very difficult, and it is not secure. Security is not there. Data not secure. So these are the flaws encountered in your procedural oriented programming language. To overcome that, we gone to object oriented programming language. In object oriented programming language, what it tells means, see here data and function. See here, I am taking a data and its function. So a data and function is being, that is and combining a data and function as an object. And what I am saying, I am making it as a single unit in your object oriented programming language. I am considering data and function as a single unit. One day the data which is this as a single unit, this we call it as the object 1. See, only if I want to make use of this particular data, the data of this particular object or function of this particular object can make use of it. Okay, only he has the authority, the function within that object can make use of this particular data. So similarly, I am considering the object 2. This is my object 2. So here I am taking data and function. Only function of that particular object 2 can make use of this data. Similarly, object 3. Function. So only he can make use of it. See what it tells means, see data security is data hiding is maintained, data is being secured. What is an object oriented programming means? We consider its data and function as a single unit, that is nothing but object. Similarly, another object 2, that is data and function. Similarly, you can have n number of objects. So this is nothing but as a single entity. This object 1 is nothing but an entity which has its data and function as a single unit. Only the function belonging to that particular object can make use of this particular data. Similarly, so data security is being maintained. Suppose I want to make use of this particular data used in your particular, I want to interact with from one object to another object. I can interact with only function. I can interact only with function. So I cannot directly access the data of one object of the another object. So you can interact one object with another object through function. You can access you can access the data or function or object of 2 with when your object of 1 need to be used with. Through function I can interact, but data is not accessed by the another object. So data security is being maintained. Data security is maintained. What it tells means in object-oriented programming, I am now taking the data and function as a single unit, and this considered as the object. So object is nothing but is an identifiable entity which has its characteristics and behavior. I'll explain what is in the characteristics of this. So in object-oriented program, I am telling that data and function is considered as a single unit, that is nothing but object 1. So only the function of that particular going to operate the data in that particular object. That is, this function only can access the particular data of that object 1. So object 2, function of the object 2 can access the data. Object 3, function of this object 3 can access the data. So one object can be interacting with another object through function, not through your data. Only from one function to another function, from one function to another function, the interaction between objects can be taken place. So here data security is being maintained, and it follows the approach of bottom. It follows the approach of bottom to top. It follows the approach of bottom to top. In a procedure, it follows the approach of top to bottom design. Here it follows the approach of bottom to top approach. What it tells means a problem is there. Again, it is divided into sub-problem. Further, it is divided into sub-problem, sub-problem. Suppose here it follows bottom to, that is, it integrates the solution of sub-problem toward the main solution. That is, what solution is obtained in a sub-problem, that is integrated with another sub-problem, and that gives the solution to your main problem. That is nothing but bottom to top approach. So this is nothing but the difference between your procedural and object oriented. In procedure, it mainly concentrates or focuses on object. Where in your procedure, it mainly concentrated on procedure. In your structure programming, it mainly concentrated on procedure. In object programming language, it mainly concentrated on an object. So what is this object oriented programming language means? In object oriented programming language, it considers data and function as a single unit, that is nothing but an object. Here data security, so a function of that particular object only can access the data, and no other function cannot access the data. That is, the data is being secured or hide, and the one object can be interacting with another object through functions. So here it follows the approach of bottom to top approach. It integrates sub-problem solution to the another sub-problem. Then it provides the main sub-problem. Till then it is going to integrate the solution of the bottom to top approach. And this is nothing but it mainly concentrated on object, not on the procedure. It mainly concentrated on the object. And this object, another features of object-oriented programming concepts is nothing but your class. What is this class is nothing but, it's the main importance that is nothing but, class is you can say it's a template for creating the object, or in other terms you can say class is a plan or blueprint which tells which data and function can be used in that particular object. Or you can say class is a collection of similar objects. That you are going to study the characteristics of what is the object-oriented programming. So what is object-oriented programming means? It is nothing but data and function is made as a single unit, so that the only function of that particular data can be, or function of that particular object can be access this data. So data security is being maintained, and it supports the reusability in your object that you are going to study in a characteristic. Reusability, data hiding, what is encapsulation, everything comes in your what's that characteristics of your object-oriented programming. And approach used here, it is bottom to top approach. And another important features of your object-oriented programming is nothing but your class. In this class is nothing but, it's a collection of, you can say class in a very number of ways. Class is nothing but a template for creating an object, or class is a collection of similar objects. A class is nothing but which has its data as its characteristics, function as its behavior. Like that is also you can consider a class is nothing but a plan or blueprint of which data and function should be used in an object. Next we will see what are the characteristics of an object-oriented programming. Students, we will discuss this what all topics we have discussed today's class. and how object-oriented programming concepts came into existence. I have already told object programming concepts came into existence. That is the flaws encountered in your traditional programming language, that is nothing but your structured and procedural programming language. The flaws, in order to overcome this flaws encountered or drawback encountered in your traditional programming language or structured programming language, we gone to a concept called object-oriented programming concepts. You know what is the structured programming language means? It gave the way to for a C language to be developed, a structured programming language, in a procedural programming language and in a structured programming language. In a procedural, what are all drawback? That is nothing but it focus only on the processing. It focus only on the what instruction should be done. Apart from that, if any branching statement are there, if the program is thread any what's that thread to a lengthier or a expensive means the procedural programming language does not came into existence. Then you go into structured programming language. In a structured programming language, it gave a way to a C programming language. In a C programming language, what it tells means it focuses on a branching statement up to a limited boundary or up to a limited boundary. That is your if else statement, all your selection statement, for loop and do while loop, while everything supported to an extent, not to a very wide range. So it is supported a branching statement as well as. And here, what are the drawback encountered means in your structured programming, same features supported in your structured programming as your procedural programming. It does not support reusability. It does not support lengthier programs. It is complex. The prompt many errors and it is very expensive. It cannot maintain the programs up to documentation or maintenance is not done properly. So to overcome to this particular or you can say just another word, your structured and your procedural does not model your real world application. It does not model your real world application. To overcome all these flaws encountered in your structured and procedural, you go to a new programming or new generation of your programming language called as the object-oriented programming system concepts. What is this object programming means? It takes in your structured programming, data security is not maintained. The data is globally used by any function and the originality of data is not maintained. The data is not secure. So in order to overcome the drawback in your object-oriented programming, the data security is maintained. How you are going to data secure means you are taking the data and function, group it as a single unit and make it as the object. What is the object is nothing but, it is nothing but it's the instances of class. I will explain what is that instances of class in the next coming class sessions. So here we consider data and function as a single unit. The name given for a single unit is nothing but object. So a function belonging to that object only can access the data. Other object function cannot access the data. So data is the secure. So here it follows the approach of bottom to top approach. What it tells means it integrates the solution of sub problem to main. That is another sub problem. Again it integrates the solution to a main problem. The solution is given to a main problem. So here it is going to support the reusability concepts, data hiding. What is this encapsulating? How we are going to encapsulate the data for making as a single unit. And it also supports the features like abstraction, polymorphisms, inheritance, message passing, data binding. So all these features is supported in your object-oriented concepts. Today's class I'll wind up this particular session with the introduction, what is an object-oriented concepts. Next class, coming class, will discuss all the characteristics of an object-oriented, what are its advantages, disadvantages and benefits of your object-oriented programming. So here, main importance of an object-oriented concepts here, it focus only on the object, not on the procedure. And here we are going to discuss, that is important topic given in your object-oriented is nothing but a class. A class is nothing but it's a template for creating objects. So you can see many ways of what is class that I will discuss in upcoming classes. So today's class I will wind up this particular session. Our object-oriented programming came into an existence. Thank you one and all.